Hi guys, Dawn Cook here, DaveandDawnCook.com. Wanted to shoot another video today. Today my topic of conversation is going to be a couple of books. Dave and I first read this book a couple of years ago. It's kind of started us on our adventure that we're currently on. Dave went to the library a couple of years ago looking for some answers. And this book, very intriguing, Why We Want You to Be Rich, by Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. Dave, of course, knew Donald Trump, knew that he was a wealthy man more than once over, and that he would be a good person to listen to in regards to why we want you to be rich. And of course, we already wanted to be rich, so we definitely wanted to hear why Donald thought we should be as well. Robert Kiyosaki was the co-author with Donald Trump. We had never heard of Robert Kiyosaki before, but again, we're intrigued by everything else, so read the book. And both of them did an excellent job. It talks a lot about where our economy currently is, what's happened in the past, as far as what our government has done over the last few years, where our government is headed with what they're doing, and made us recognize through reading this book that these two gentlemen wanted to give us answers on how to become rich despite what is going on in our country currently and where our government is headed. We really liked Robert Kiyosaki's storytelling abilities as he co-authored this book with Donald Trump. And of course, I believe at the end of this book, there's, of course, indicates what the authors have written in the past. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad was Robert Kiyosaki's best-selling book that was recommended here. So that's what we picked up next, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And again, it's probably been 2 years now since we've read this. It's an outstanding book. It is changed Dave and I's whole mindset, our whole financial mindset. Began us on our path to financial literacy that we were not on before. And I'll probably just say this again in a little bit here, but our school system does not teach us financial education. We are left to learn that from our parents. And if our parents weren't taught anything on how to be rich, then they have nothing to pass on to us. And that's the situation we were in. Where we didn't have any real instruction on financial education, how to make money work for us, how to make proper financial decisions, and how to actually become like Rich Dad, become rich. So again, excellent book. Again, Robert's a very good storyteller. So he starts with telling about how he had two dads to learn from, his own dad and his friend Mike's dad. As he learned a little bit more about his own father and about his best friend's father, he learned that he could call his own dad Poor Dad because his friend's Mike's dad was definitely a rich dad. Some of the differences between his poor dad and his rich dad that Robert realized. His poor dad was very well educated. I don't need to hold this book anymore. His poor dad was very well educated, had several degrees, undergraduate and graduate, master's degrees and so forth. And he was involved in the school system. He was very high up in the state of Hawaii in the school system there. So very well educated. His friend Mike's dad, who he calls Rich Dad, he actually didn't even make it through 8th grade in high school, or 8th grade in middle school. So big difference there. Other big differences are his poor dad didn't know anything other than how to work for money. So all he had to do was put in his time to get his paycheck. And he had no other sources of income because all he knew, and again probably learned from his own parents, all he knew how to do was how to work for money. And what he recommended for his son, Robert, was to study hard, go to college, and learn how to work for money. Study hard and find a good company to work for. That's the only thing his poor dad could instruct him on, because that's all he knew. Even with all his education, that was all he knew. Rich Dad, on the other hand, was able to let Robert and his friend Mike know that there were other ways. You didn't have to work for money, but you could learn to have money work for you. And again, with only an 8th grade education, financially he was so much more educated than Robert's poor dad was. A couple other differences. Poor dad always said, "I can't afford that." And what Rich Dad said was, "How can I afford that?" Because Rich Dad knew if you posed that question to yourself, it put your mind to work, and you would figure out a way to afford that. Where when you just say, "I can't afford that," your mind stops working, and then you don't go any farther than that. So, and Rich Dad also believed in talking about money at the dinner table, where poor dad forbade this the talk of money at the dinner table. So when that family got together, when they could actually be sharing and learning, Rich Dad's family was learning from their dad, where Robert and his family were not getting that insight from their own dad. And some of the other differences too is that let me peek at my notes. The big difference too is that having a job is not your only source. In fact, isn't even your best source, because you are working for money. You're putting all your labor in to receive that pay. You quit working, you're sick, or you go on vacation, perhaps if you had earlier on before a salary job, but you don't get paid when you're not working. Where Rich Dad taught them that you had to make money work for you, so that your money worked for you while you could take a break. And Rich Dad taught them that the way to wealth and the way to be rich and retire early like Robert did was to generate enough income from your assets, from your investments, so that in effect passive income would equal or exceed your monthly living expenses, and therefore you would no longer have to work through your labor, because your money was working for you. The other nice thing I liked, which was very interesting to me, because again I have an accounting background, but as most people believe, including me up until a couple of years ago, you believe that your house was an asset, your home was an asset. In fact, in a lot of cases it was your greatest investment, and probably because it was your only investment. So you thought you were okay with that, because that's what everybody else believed. That's what your banker believed. The banker put your house on your balance sheet as an asset, and again, your greatest investment, and so you were set. But what Rich Dad said is that your house, your home, is actually a liability. It's a liability because it causes money to flow out every month through your mortgage payment, through the normal upkeep of your house. So in Rich Dad's mind, anything that took money away from you was a liability, where anything that made money for you was an asset. So huge difference. Your house is a liability rather than your house being an asset. And I really do believe that now, and really realize that I don't want money going out the door. I want money coming in the door. So the other fantastic thing about what we've learned so far with these couple of books is that we can now pass this knowledge on to our kids. Again, I so wish I had known a lot of this. I haven't gone into hardly anything of what is discussed in the book yet, but it's amazing. It's life-changing. It's the way to actually become wealthy, become rich, to have more than you need so you can share and help others, so you can really live a true lifestyle, reach your dreams, in effect have the life of your dreams. And again, our children are at the age where we can actually start them off right by teaching them, because again, it's our responsibility to teach them, because again, it's not taught in school, but now we actually have some true sound financial knowledge on how to be rich that we can teach our kids now at their age. And they actually are of course that's my timer. They're enjoying it and they're learning a lot, and we will I'll discuss that some more in future videos. But you're going to hear from the kids as well, and what they've learned, and we're so excited for them and for us and for you as well, because we want to share the information with you, and we highly recommend both of these books, but especially Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So help yourself out and get the book and read it, and let us know what you think and what you've learned, and ask any questions, and we'll try to help you too as we learn some more as well. So thanks guys, have a great day. Bye for now.